Hello creators, welcome back to Create, Share, and Give. This is my Aunt Marie and thank you for coming back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. This is where I share my spiritual journey and talk about all things spiritual. I am going to be discussing in honor of Black History Month. I am going to discuss herbalism. Now, herbalism is something that's been true to my heart for a very, very long time. And honor all of the ancestors and all of the energy that have used herbs to heal and cure humanity within their communities. This is some rosemary. And I have been drying it out. I usually hang them in this. This is so cute. I got this from Target a few years ago. And I just put them inside and hang them to dry. Initially, I wanted to make some smudge sticks. I let it dry too long, so I was not able to make my smudge sticks out of it. It still needs to be a little pliable to make smudge sticks, but I will find a use for it. I usually will put it in my floor wash. You know, I love the smell of rosemary. It's like a therapeutic. It's a very earthy. My neighbor, she has a huge rosemary bush, and what she does, and just put a sign for free, and then I pick them up that way. But all the ancestors that came before, known and unknown, that knew how to use the medicinal herbs that were native to the land to heal their community. I am now taking an online herbal course, learning more about herbalism on a deeper level, and I am super excited about that. So I'll be sharing some of that, some of my journey into herbalism with you guys. If I ever had to put myself in a box or in a category, I definitely would be a green witch if that had to be a category. But to pay honor to some of the ancestors. Now, someone that I came across was Francois Mackindell, and hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. He was from Saint-Domingue, which is now the modern Haiti. And he had an extensive knowledge of herbs. Herbal knowledge is attributed to helping form maroon groups, which helped them resist in forms of rebellion in 1958. So I thought that was to be recognized and commended. Another herbalist in the Orisha category, now, Osane is the Lord of Plants. And it is also said that without the use of herbal and plant remedies for physical and mental healing, Orishas cannot exist. Osane is the personification of the power of healing locked up in leaves, barks, and roots. There can be some forms of Orisha worship that doesn't practice animal sacrifice. There can even be some form of Orisha worship that doesn't practice veneration of physical forms. But there cannot be Orisha worship without using herbs and other plants for spiritual and physical healing purposes. So Osane is a very beloved Orisha. He is depicted with one leg, one eye, one ear. And he's a very interesting character. The best way to venerate Osane is to have a corner in your house that's dedicated to plants or herbs. And I have no problem with that. So this is really cool. If you guys are interested in learning more about Osane, the Lord of Plants and Herbs, I would definitely suggest you pick that up. Some of our modern day herbalists, the renowned Dr. Sebi, who's definitely left his footprint here on earth. We also have Dr. Lila Africa. And I was drawn to this book. I found it at a thrift store and I picked it up. I still haven't fully read this book. I would glance through it and read different sections throughout the book, but I knew that this is a book that will forever stay in my library. And throughout the years, I'll go through my library, I'll clear some of the books that I no longer needed, but this book never left my shelf. And I'm so glad it did not. I will always keep it. I've had this book, I know, a good 16 years. So, and now that he is now transitioned, I am so ever grateful that I still have this book of his in my collection. And I've recently came across a few videos on YouTube. So I've been watching some of his older videos to say thank you, Lila Africa, for your contribution on your herb knowledge. And I want to thank the ancestors. I want to thank all of my ancestors for their knowledge in healing. They knew how to go into their backyards, into the land, and get the herbs to heal themselves and their families when they didn't have access to medical. They did a way to get to a doctor, or maybe through racism, they weren't even allowed to see a doctor. So they took their health in their own hands, grew their own food, raised their animals, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I just did a book review on Working the Roots by Michelle E. Lee. If you have not seen that video, go check it out. Because here I really honor just the ancestors that went out into the field. This is a picture, the hands of Sally Mccloud. How the elders went and they knew how to go into the land and get everything they needed to feed their families, from cotton liver oil, from things they call folk remedies that worked, that kept them alive. And a lot of the ancestors lived to ripe old ages. Now, a lot of the medicinal herbs and plants no longer grow on the land. A lot of outsiders came in on the land and they overforaged the herbs and plants. And when you take more than what you need, that creates a deficit for others. But, some people are greedy and don't care. But that's one rule of thumb. When you are taking a plant or you are taking herbs, first you have to show reverence for that plant. And you have to ask if it's okay to take it. And the rule of thumb that the ancestors always went by is only take what you need. Now think about that. What if we all live by that rule? Only take what you need. Leftovers for others. And we will all be in abundance. But I guess that's too easy for human beings. So until then, I guess we'll just try to do the best we can do. But I just want to thank all of the healers that gave their life to healing. They gave us choices. The newer generations that are out here doing their thing as far as herbalism, healing, teaching. I just wanted to say I thank you and I salute you. Until we meet again, take care.